Hello, all, and welcome to another edition of Kamandi, the Last Boy on Earth, as read by Jake and Kurt. We are two comic creators in the middle of making our own comic, but we are doing this little side venture into poring meticulously over these beautiful Jack Kirby comics for DC that came out in the early 70s. Today we're going to be doing Kamandi, issue number 13. Which was dated January of 1974. And so, Kurt, what are your first impressions here?
So last issue, we recognized that we lost the double page spread.
Is, is
Oh,
it that?
wow. Wow, this kind of sucks for me. And I was also going to note that this sucks because up to this point, um, I would see the cover and then I would get,
Yeah.
for instance, here you go, and I'd get that right-hand page.
Yes.
I see the cover and then I get the reveal. Now I was going to say because I got the cover and the first page reveal, this is a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
Because it's a split, because a double, because I was getting to this point where maybe there's no more double page spreads because he wanted it for story context. He really wanted to dig down right out of the gate. But this is a bit disappointing.
Yeah. So,
So
I know what you're saying because I have an original copy here, and
how's it running on yours?
yeah. So you get the front page. That that's on the right, and then when you turn it, you do have correctly a one page splash, and then it gets into sequential panels. So that
So the way I have it here is the way you have it in your comic.
yes,
So this is not a double page spread.
that is how I have it in my comic. You were out of left and right order in the previous, but
Okay.
they caught
All
up by
right.
putting the cover on, and
It's
so
a little frustrating.
yeah. So here we're seeing the leopards are mounted on horses, and Kamandi is in this little world where he's kind of being we're in the third issue of a story arc here where Kamandi
Mhm.
has been captured by the Sacker Corporation, the Sacker Company,
Department store.
and they've been grooming him for a race, and we're still learning the as the details unfold. But Sacker is a sneak character, and the leopard characters that are kind of the soldiers or the militarized force that are keeping Kamandi at bay are are the kind of like the animal that we've been with for the last two issues. But now, right from the first page here, we're seeing uh looks like a gorilla here, and when we turn the page to bang this.
Well, we don't have that. We don't have that big like paragraph at the top either, like giving us a catch up. Like a
Yeah,
filler in.
yeah, and then going back to the cover, I also wanted to say that it looks a little sparse. There could be some more backgrounds and some more setting, setting up the story. We do see that Command is getting tossed into this animal compound. We see Flower there, or Spirit is there on the right. But this looks a little rushed. I would say that Kirby didn't spend as much time on this cover as he did on the interior pages.
Right.
So that tells you, because look, as soon as you get to the interior pages, you see a lot of like vegetation and some backgrounds, and that's important. It really sets things up. Um, that's kind of a hint saying that these things were put out in a rush, and Kirby was asked to make a splashy cover. He just put in some foreground elements, and then he's done. Like, he just two big bare walls there. Come on. So it's probably the deadline looming. That's responsible for that. But we have these nice lush internals, and we enjoy it while you can, because as you get deeper and deeper into the book, sometimes it's sometimes things do get a little more sparse. So yeah, we're missing that paragraph up atop where it kind of just a introductory text, and it reminds you over and over that the animals have taken over. So they just say it all here in one sentence. I guess they did, maybe again they're rushing here. Kamandi is he's just kind of floating around here, and we see the entrants to the race are filing in. The announcer says it's the gentleman's competition. All entries represent customers of the Sackers Company. Hialeah Park welcomes its patrons to the Sackers Company sweepstakes. This is a truce area. You're here to buy, not die. So that is directly related to Turbo Pit Fighter, because we're also going to be portraying the pit fight arenas or the pit fight venues as a truce area, right? So maybe we'll have to borrow that and post some signs that are reminders, that this is a truce area, and that there's understanding.
And some indication of the differences in groups within Turbo Pit Fighters world, I think would be also another thing to try to develop
Right.
For ourselves and everything.
Yeah, well, here
But
we're dealing with the animals, which is kind
yeah.
of, I mean, just like Mao's kind of used, animals to represent different races of people.
Mm-hmm.
Here they're doing, different, I guess, regional, humanoid groups. But it's really just the metaphor that comes straight from the Planet of the Apes extended to other types of animals.
Yeah.
Who let that stray animal loose and never fails? One of Sacker's trained animals always wanders out on the track. So yeah, I notice on mine the red is out quite a bit, so it's kind of distracting. Yours, I'm sure it's perfectly, yeah. And I see your yellow is very, very bright. My yellow is very, very pale. Pursued by Sacker's leopard guards, Kamandi loses himself in the crowd. One side, friends, I'm searching for a stray animal. Look no further, guard. I'll flush him out for you. Pow! Kamandi gets booted in the back. Why you? I wasn't bothering you. You can talk, eh? What else has Sacker taught you to do, animal? Zock!
Zonk!
Get him, that little beast is dangerous. Yes, sir, just leave him to me. So, I'm not sure what kind of an animal this is that Kamandi just...
A dog?
I don't know if that's a dog. The features are a little bit like maybe like a coyote or a fox or something.
Coyote would be good.
Mm.
I'd go with coyote. Yeah. Fox would be a smaller.
Well, we don't know, So Kamandi is facing off here with the leopard guards. They have a gun. Come back here, I'll teach you to annoy excuse me, our paying customers. Easy with that pistol. I'm not gonna bite anybody. Suddenly, they're off. What in? So you could hear the rumbling of the horses. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. Look out! There's an animal in our path. Good gravy! They'll run me down. So Kamandi's right in the way here. It looks like they're turning a corner because they're going like to the right and forward, right?
Yeah.
And for all you budding comic artists out there, I just want you to appreciate how hard it is to draw a bunch of horses, all riding. That is
Just drawing a horse.
right.
Start there, then draw a bunch of horses.
Right, and with all with riders on there, and so Jack Kirby, of course, has had experience doing westerns going back to the 40s, so that I'm sure that came in handy.
Lots of experience, no reference, right out of the old noggin.
Stupid creature, he hasn't got a chance. I've got to make it, or I'll be pounded to bits. So Kamandi's tumbling out of the way here. We turn the page, and we're at chapter 2, Hell at Hialeah. So here now we get the paragraph that we're missing in the front. In a last desperate attempt to reach the safety of the rails, Kamandi leaps and rolls beneath the lead horse, hoping for a lightning swift miracle. Suddenly it comes! 3 exclamation points. Kamandi is roughly yanked from death, but to be saved for hell at Hialeah. Poom, poom. Fool animal, we got to him just in time. Come here, you. Yeah, this this is another example. We remind viewers all the time that Kirby's shortcut style includes these chapter markers, and that enables him to substitute about a third of a page with lettering, right? And these title graphics. And I love the title graphics, but you would rather see at least some indications of the horse's hooves there, that are
Yeah, like everybody running by, or just at least the end of maybe one and a bunch of dust.
right. So,
Another rail.
so it's so apparent that time is of the essence. I mean, you could even see like some of this like debris as the dirt is getting kicked up. It's really clunky here. It's just like, they're drawing the ground and it's like a light green tint. Not, this page is like a little bit weird for me. But let's proceed. Numb and shaken, Kamandi allows himself to be dragged off by the Sacker Company leopard guards. Someone's going to get chewed out for letting him escape from the animal compound. This is the one called Kamandi, a real troublemaker. Kamandi says, I can still dish out plenty of it. Oof, pow. So that's kind of cool. They got him by the arms and he uses that as a springboard to kick them both. And it looks like the guy, I'm not sure. Yeah, the gun is going off or not. Stop him, Ag. Look at that. So then the follow through and the kick, it sends everybody flying. I love
That is a great panel.
Yeah, the directional, like the directional lines of the drapery really adds to it, because it's going in every direction.
It's just a cinematographic, cinematography kind of like.
Yeah. Right. It's like
storyboard.
the spatial, creativity in Kirby's mind. Slippery little fiend. We'll toss you in a cage and throw away the key. You'll have to catch me first, loose lips. I'll get him. Kamandi suddenly feels a strong hand close on his ankle. Let me go, Oral. You've had it, whelp. At that moment, leopard reinforcements arrive, and here we see Kamandi is fully restrained. Haul him away, but don't harm him. Sacker's orders. And we see the leopards. It's taking a bunch of them to hold him down. Go on, get inside and stay there. Animal compound, property of Sacker's Company. You can't keep me here. I'll go where I darn please. And then here we see this, what was his name? Bull Bantam?
Yep.
Proud Kamandi beaten, humbled. Bull Bantam finished job. Bull Bantam kill you in race. Well, if it isn't Mr. Wonderful himself, still crowing, eh? I say truth. When time comes to race, Kamandi die. You poor excuse for a man. I've never seen you stand up to these animals. Ooh. That's great. That's great. Kirby's
really good.
Yeah, thinking into the dynamic between the captors. As for that race, I won't take part in it. Coward, Mr. Sacker's leopards make you race. Sacker can go to blazes. I'm not his property like you. I'm risking my life to promote his product. You race. Kamandi! Here comes Spirit. You race or lose her to me. She big prize. Hey, wait a minute. They're making Spirit the trophy girl here.
What?
That's what.
Oh my God, Jake.
Yeah.
Into your subconscious.
I guess this went my subconscious in 74. When I was 8 years old. That was prime.
Oh, Jake, this is giving me chills.
Soaking it in like a sponge.
Oh boy.
You're not right, Kamandi. Spirit, you mean that the winner of the big race can claim you as a prize? Bull Bentham wants Spirit, like he once wanted my sister Flower. Flower's dead, but you've got a chance to live. I'm going to escape. Join me. No, my life here. Mr. Sacker good to us. He teach us, feed us. So here again, we see this dynamic that Spirit kind of argued with Kamandi last issue. and Kamandi is still kind of fighting it, but these humans have settled into this existence where they get food and shelter, and it's a really interesting metaphor for the big company store, being the local, surrogate for the government and authority and everything. So yeah, so we see all of these preparations getting made in the background. Stay, Kamandi, race for spirit. You mean for that snake sacker? No thanks. Suddenly, time for the Twheeler race. Get out of the way. Hey, be careful. These dudes are sure in a rush to break their necks, but what's a Twheeler, guard? You must be dumb or new here. A Twheeler is a machine. It makes a lot of noise and speeds like a bullet. That explanation is clear as mud. Can you describe it a little better? Vroom, vroom. Hear 'em? That's 'em coming out now. Twheelers, two-wheelers, motorcycles.
Nice. Look at that. Oh,
Right, now,
that is so awesome.
right, and here you see these guys all with these different, get-ups and weapons now. I love this.
Mad Max, baby.
That's right.
Mad
And,
Max.
this
That's all I got to say.
a direct connection to the pages that I'm working on right now for
Exactly. Yeah, next episode 39, you're heading back to that sequence where you've got those bikers
Turbo Fighter
attacking the uh
2. We
the
have,
the ice cream truck
right,
where Turbo and Trophy Girl are. Dude, this is crazy,
a
Jake.
band of
Oh my
motorcycle goons
God.
that are chasing our heroes. So
We totally didn't plan any of this. This is great. But this is why we're actually trying to gain inspiration and motivation from Jack Kirby's Kamandi. And here it happened 40 years ago
right. Oh,
to the U.
I'm definitely looking at this panel. I mean, it's not that I'm like gonna like rip anything off,
Swipe.
but I'm looking. I am getting all kinds of inspirations here. I like what they're doing with the colors.
Mm-hmm.
I like what they're doing with the masks and the all these
Mm-hmm.
like shields and weapons and stuff. It's great.
Oh,
Um, and a couple of Kirby dots thrown in the back. Um, I
yeah.
do want to point out something. Look at this upper right panel.
Hmm. Same
On,
page. What, page
yeah,
9?
yeah, on story page 9. I'm seeing in this issue these kind of like squiggles. You see in Commandy's shoulder blade those kind of like like S curve squiggles. I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing those in this issue a little, and maybe not. You know, I don't know. I guess they're in there all the time, but we talk about just you know Kirby putting in darkness, right, to balance things out. But it's weird when it's like lined, but it's not like heavy dark areas. Like
Yeah, well, Reuters is making it happen in one brush mark.
yeah,
I mean, that it starts super thin, it comes over, and then the weight hits. And we've mentioned his line being very calligraphic, even in a Sumi Japanese ink style, calligraphic
wouldn't you
wise.
love to see the
And they
pencils
hitting it.
before the inks though?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder.
I mean, I'm sure that Kirby Tomorrow's magazine might have something in there. And they've got a pretty good website too. I'll check it out and see if we can maybe find a couple issues. Because they basically just reprint pencil pages and stuff that they still have
Yeah,
access to and
yeah.
stuff. So yeah, it'd be cool to get a couple Commandy pages.
There might also be some YouTube videos.
If they have.
I know their footage is rare, but there is something online of Jack Kirby drawing on YouTube. So I wonder if Mike Royer has anything out there. Anyway,
Sure.
I'd like to watch the race. Mind if I borrow these binoculars? Okay, but don't break them. They're not play toys. Arrogant leopard. He treats me as if I were a trained animal. Little did he know that man once kept his kind in zoos.
He said that before.
Yeah, yeah. So he's repeating that refrain because he's got to remind people of the premise of the series. That's how it gets deeply ingrained in your mind. Kamandi then focuses on the track where the motorcycle race has begun. But the great disaster changed all that. Now man is at the bottom of the animal ladder, hunted as slave labor. Look at them riding for the amusement of beasts, working for Sacker, a clever sneak who heads a business empire. Here, my complaint, third issue in a row, I have this complaint about, signage just being executed in the regular lettering font.
Yeah.
Maybe with like just a little heavier, brush or pen, but yeah, Kirby's also getting away with these big crowds just by doing these little indications too. So, crowd scenes are a nightmare for any comic artist. Am I going to draw each individual figure, or am I just going to make it scribble scrabble? So, I'm surprised that he doesn't have some more of this light dark balance in those crowd shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe there's a way to do that. He's got the Kirby dots, and then he's got the Rorschach splotches, and so
Yeah.
and so it's a little weird. That might have been a decision by Royer.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah. So and then those little the little lines here for these motorcycle riders doesn't seem like the usual quality level for the inking. As in the ancient dog races, the cyclists are in pursuit of tempting bait which whirls around the track. I was wondering what this thing is. So they're like this.
Birthday cake?
It's like a little cake. I got it.
Strawberry shortcake.
And so yeah, they're after this cake. I got it. I got prize. You no get prize. I kill you first. So now they're starting
Yeah.
to shoot at each other. And wow, this next scene, then the track becomes the scene of carnage. You got one guy throwing a grenade. You got another guy doing a flamethrower. You have some bikes that are getting ripped apart. And you have people that are getting thrown in every direction. Unbelievable pandemonium. That's carnage, all right.
Mm-hmm.
They're destroying each other to win a strawberry shortcake.
It is a strawberry shortcake.
The animals love it after living on a daily diet of gruel. Come down now. I suppose it's time for me to race, eh? The doors of the animal compound swing open as the casualties of the motorcycle race are brought in. Poor ignorant fools. I'm not following their example. I'd rather do or die for Kamandi Enterprises than the Sackers Company. It's time I made my escape. I love these. I love the background, all the body language of those guys. They're just so defeated and
Yeah,
and they're being like pulled on a flatbed. It's great.
it is.
Um, let's.
Death to the devil.
I'm seeing some ads here, just so people know what you're missing. I have some ads here for the fun never stops popping with Pop-O-Matic from Action Games by Koner. There's these are a series of games that have like a little pop thing that tumbles the dice for you. Headache, Trouble, Pop
Mm.
Checks, Pop-O-Matic Bingo, and Pop Dog.
Yep.
And this is across from a Giant Adventures of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer's Treasury, 10 by 13 supersize. Order your copy now while the limited surprise lasts. So why are they doing a Christmas? So this is supposed to be January of 74. They're doing an ad for a Christmas comic that you can just order now.
Cheap.
Wonder.
It's on sale.
That means
Get that shit out of the warehouse.
yeah, I think
Probably burn it.
January. Yeah, the January edition probably shipped in probably early December.
Yeah.
Okay, chapter 3, Death and the Devil. Love this one. There are indeed different. Things are indeed different in Kamandi's world. Here he's just hitting that same note. And for man, life is different. His fears are different, and escape from them is certain to be different. Kamandi walks determinedly to the stable where his mount is kept. He is ready for death and the devil. What's going on here? What are you dingbats doing with Click Clack? We're trying to keep him from killing us, that's what. Sacker must have been out of his mind to have a devil brought back here. He's not a devil. He's just a big nervous insect. And here we get a nice look at Click Clack and his big changing proportions, right? Pulling on him with ropes only makes him more jittery. Then you'd better calm him down for the big race. What race? Click Clack and I are dumping the big race in favor of a bigger prize. Freedom.
Freedom.
Go, boy, go. Crash. It's a breakout. The devil's loose.
No.
Yeah, definitely. So Kamandi's making a go for it. And I guess he's not listening to Spirit here, right? Spirit was trying to work on him. One more hop, Click Clack, over the compound wall. Stop him. What? Good boy, keep going. There he goes, right over the wall. Escaping animals. It's Kamandi. Orders say we can't shoot him. Meanwhile, what happened, guard? Where Kamandi? He's made a break. Someone alert Central Security. Get the copters. Flycopters, stop him. Make Kamandi race Bull Bantam. Girl beater, you not win. Spirit, no. I win Spirit.
Girl beater. He's got a history, huh?
Yeah, look what he's saying. I win Spirit, then beat. Ugh.
Damn.
Never, you never
Damn.
Spirit. Smack. So I love this panel. You don't own me, right? This is, women standing up here.
Yeah.
I not my sister Flower. You make her run away. Now she dead. I not care. You look like Flower. Bull Bantam want you. That is definitely an implied threat. Oh my God! Look at this. I killed Kamandi in race. Then I own you as prize. No. Look at that. He forces her to kiss.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. And then he throws her into a stack of garbage. Bull Bantam leader here. Bull Bantam stay leader. Spirit hate you. Hope you lose race. Bull Bantam never lose. He born to win. Got pedigree. Armorers, get Bull ready for race. At that moment, I wanted to do the sound effect. Like, right? Theater of the mind. Kamandi, surrender. Don't try to escape. Get on the racetrack. We won't harm you if you obey. Take these. You'll need them in the race. Fools, I'll take them, but I'll use them to make my escape as they lower down a machine gun and a whole belt of ammo.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Nice.
And I'm also seeing here this subscription page here for House of Mystery. What a beautiful Bernie Wrightson cover. They were really advertising Bernie Wrightson stuff every month. The spectators in the stands get to their feet as Kamandi is herded to the track. So here we get to see kind of like a mid-range shot of a crowd and tons of word balloons. So this is great.
Beautiful.
And I'm just looking here. There isn't so much of a diversity of animals, but in the upper right corner, there is kind of like this mouse or rat-looking animal, right? Right?
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And your coloring is a little bit different from mine. Yours is a lot darker than mine. I'm getting some very muted colors here. And it's important, I think, when the colors are all dark, I think they fight with each other. I don't know if the coloring on your Treasury reprint is missing some nuance here, because some of these purples are lighter, and it's when something's a neutral tone, it's not supposed to be the focus. It's supposed to be background element, or blending into the setting. So Sacker has captured a devil. He's being ridden in the race. It's the first time I've seen a devil. He's fantastic. I wonder how he'll do in the race. So I see lions, tigers, and bears, right?
Oh my.
Yeah, you gotta love this. I love that tiger. This looks like Japanese brush pen. Above Kamandi, the helicopters keep a tight cordon on their prey. Keep on the track. Keep on the track. We'll fire if you stray. We outgun you. Keep moving. Click Clack's upset. Pew, pew, pew. They're shooting him. They're shooting around him to make sure he stays on the track. All of a sudden, Click Clack, wham! He just destroys the helicopter with a kick. Can't control him. Wow. It's kind of a weird decision to put that in a tiny little sixth of a page panel, but there it is.
Keep it moving.
Foul creatures. We've got more copters and bombs too. Click, click. Right. So they're shooting all around him, and the bug is definitely agitated. Did you see that? The devil picked off a copter. A horse couldn't do it. They're off. Well, it looks like we're in the race, Click Clack. That devil has speed. Suddenly, Click Clack takes out two opponents. Clop.
Damn.
Brop.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, that's great. Then, as Kamandi begins to crowd the others, stay off my tail, you. The firing spurs Click Clack to leap clear over the line of riders. Stop the devil, he's out in front. Bam, bam. Look out, the ground is opening. Horses can't jump the
What?
gap. Oh my God. So here we see
Oh, man.
horses being like thrown into the divide. I guess the ground opening up is so this is like an obstacle course now. We're just learning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
My horse made the jump. I'll use your gun. I'll fight you fair. No, I won't shoot a man in this kind of game. Yike! All of a sudden, a wall of flame. My horse can't go through
Damn.
that. You've got to make it, Click Clack. You've got to. Click Clack carries Kamandi over the hot flames, waiting on the other side. Fazow. So I just want viewers to just drink in this wall of flame, right? These beautiful Kirby dots, right? There's nothing like it. And the color and the style and the lights and the darks. This is really fine Kirbyisms. Here there's a barrage of these kind of like gun turret fires. They look like these big cannon guns. Fwam, fwam, fwam.
Jeez. Oh,
And
man.
unfortunately, Click Clack is hit.
Oh,
Click Clack staggers under the attack, but he bravely hangs on. Then Click Clack counterattacks. Blam! You see, he headbutts this armed vehicle. It's incredible. Click Clack withstood the savage barrage, but he's hurt. And sure enough, see, now this is where I would have swapped if I was, Kirby. I would have made the big panel, the barrage, and the little panel where he's hurt. But I guess, Kirby's gonna do. Quick Clack, I don't know how to help you, but I'll try. There must be a doctor on Sacker's payroll. Get the devil on his feet. He isn't hurt. He's goofing off. Make him finish the race. What? It's the
wow.
crowd.
Wow.
Here, very noticeably, we're about to end. We're on page 19, and Kirby has only been in for 20 story pages in the last couple of issues. Just want to note, we're not seeing any backgrounds here. The whole page, only that middle panel has a little hint of the stanchions of the stands, right? We are getting some debris, so it isn't like completely valueless, but these bottom two panels are definitely shortcutted because I'm sure the time crunch is looming. Finish the race, they chant. Don't give us excuses, finish the race. I'll see you all lose your shirts before I allow Click Clack to be killed. We've paid our money, give us action. At that moment, a lariat is thrown and Kamandi is snared. Snack. Ha 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 ha. Ow, stop dragging me with this rope or I'll... Kamandi is pulled roughly across the turf until he faces his final foe in the race of death. Old Bantam. Now we know why he's called Old Bantam. You're going to get the fight you asked for. This is your last fight, Kamandi. In this fight, you die. Ha ha ha. The end. That's
What?
Weird.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
We've never seen that.
No.
Why would that?
And it's also out of place. It's a cliffhanger, for God's sake.
Yeah. That's an intern mistake if I've ever seen one.
And then here we see at the bottom this little note. Well, you don't have it. You don't have the little note next issue on sale? Oh, you're missing it. On mine, it says this little note, which you've seen a lot of times in DC Comics. It says next issue on sale during the third week in November, which is crazy because that means this January edition shipped out before November. Yeah.
It is odd.
Yeah. So.
Or you have a reprint.
No, I don't have a reprint. This thing
they just reran the print.
This thing is old. No, it's always been like that. The editions that come out always have the date on it for like 3 months ahead. What happens next? You're still unprepared for winner take all, and so now we're going to a fourth comic
Installment.
in this timeline. Yeah, and I'm wondering.
Yep.
So now we're getting really good. This is great. I love everything that just happened here. The race, like it's not overdone. There's just like some simple story elements that are introduced, but this shows that Bull Bantam was thought out ahead of time, because when they first introduced his name, Kirby was well, maybe Kirby was thinking that he was going to be riding this giant buffalo bull, whatever, or maybe Kirby thought that up after. But this is a great, idea, because everybody else is just on a horse, and so Kamandi and Bull Bantam get these special, animals to ride. I was going to say vehicles, um, and and we also have seen the way that they're developing the cruelty of Bull Bentham. He outwardly says that he's going to beat Spirit,
Yeah.
and then he also says, "I want you," which implies worse. And so the stakes are high, but Kamandi still it refuses to shoot other humans in this race, and he still refuses to play along nice and fight Bull Bantam for Sacker until he doesn't have a choice. They don't give him a choice. They steer him into the race, and then right, and it's them, right? It's the leopards and Sacker that injure the bug, right?
Yeah.
So at every
Keep
point,
him in the game. Keep him in the game, I think is what it was. Because
right,
they knew
to keep
it
him,
wouldn't
he would have
kill him.
escaped.
Yeah.
He
So
defeated
it was
everybody in the
maybe.
race, and he would have just escaped. But now
Yeah.
Commandy's on his own. He doesn't have his vehicle anymore.
Yeah.
So
And the devils, these bugs that are referred to as the devils, have a reputation. So
right,
he's not the one and only devil. So they've probably had them before, but were unable to do what Commandy's done, which was tame it to wild Mustang into a stallion, and then be able to have this wonderful show in the Death Race 2000.
I just can't wait for next week, man. I just can't.
Yeah. Well, that'll be that. Well, and just so everybody knows, we are making our own post-apocalyptic romance comic called Turbo Pit Fighter, which Jake started 25 years ago,
Or
with some
thereabouts.
pencils and stuff and thereabout, and of course was based on his love of Kamandi, Last Boy on Earth.
Yeah,
And this episode had a couple of really nice connectors, we could
that's
call
right.
them,
Yeah,
from
well,
inspiration.
the idea of the
Very, very
competition,
awesome.
right? The death sport, the competition, the idea
Yep,
of
yep.
the gladiator, idea,
Trophy girl.
the
The whole
trophy
idea of
girl.
a
How
woman
about
being,
that? I know
yep.
the
That really entered your psyche.
swarm of motorcycle riders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my influences, I keep saying are Kamandi and these post-apocalyptic Kirby comics and Road Warrior, but also movies, and then the thing that I think we're doing that nobody else has done that's pretty original is to have a strong female character lead this. Um, I'm looking around, and I was on
Yep.
DeviantArt last night. I was looking up like Thundra, and I was looking
Yep.
up some powerful women, and where are the I mean, She-Hulk is a little different because she's taller rather than stocky, but she's also kind of like a female version of the Hulk, and that whole thing. It isn't really like a human. She's like really, really super powered, superhero. So I'm thinking about we have Turbo Pit Fighter who does has superhuman ability, but then I'm thinking about all these other characters and all these other protagonists that are just going to be human but are going to be stocky females. Also the sci-fi bit, because when I developed Turbo Pit Fighter, I was also developing Kill Crazy Priests in Space, and I was also developing Turmoil on the Planet of the Sex Robots, which I think we're going to have to rename to Turmoil on the Planet of the Pleasure Robots. But we have all these stories that are just out in the cloud. They're all vapor. They're kicking around. I have notes, and sometimes I have some rough layouts, and I really have a lot of notes on them. So one day we'll get around to all of these things, or else they'll never be realized. But if you like Kamandi, give our comic a try. You can check out our videos and see the making of a little bit, and then when we finally put out our first issue, those will be available in our channel as well to order.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm looking at the time capsule here. They're printing some really harsh criticisms. Here's one criticism from Steven Scheibner of Jackson Heights, New York. He's saying, "How can you do this to me? It's the plot. What we had in the 8th issue was another predictable situation. Kamandi attacks another human who beats him in The Great Escape, reunification with Ben Boxer, battle cry, victory, and then to be continued. A mediocre plot indeed. Perhaps Last Boy on Earth's meeting with the nuclear people will liven Kamandi over again. This over-exaggeration on animals has made Kamandi just another comic zine on the shelves."
Wow.
I know. Why do they even print this?
Brutal.
The mental phenomenon.
No, I mean, but I think too that I wonder if this was a message that DC would send to Jack when he received his copies of the printed book, and then he might have just not even looked at the comic book, just went back to those critiques to help him realign or adjust himself accordingly to what was being printed. I mean, you don't know if that's a real person. It could have been made up by DC editors or something. You know what I mean? Just to steer him into.
Why would they? I don't know if they would. I mean, why would they detract so badly? This is kind of.
I don't know. This pretty heavy-handed, but
withering.
We'll see what he does with it.
And he finishes off by saying, "You also left out Kamandi's origin, promised many an issue ago." They want Kamandi's origin. There's the next letter is it's the opposite. Wow, magnificent, beautiful. Only these words can describe Kamandi number 8. The cover was a knockout. The busts of the presidents make the story start out different. Pages 6 and 7 prove my idea of how Kamandi feels towards humans. Sultan must return. It was good to see Ben Boxer again. I go for 22 or 23 pages of story, not 20, but I forgive you since there were 2 pages of letter. I want to see Kamandi's origin revealed in the future, if at all possible. So Steve Sherman writes back, 2 of our regular readers and writers at opposite ends of the scale. Sorry, don't think Jack's concentrating enough on Kamandi's inner feelings, Steve, but the general reaction seems to follow Will's line of thinking. The pace of the stories makes it a little bit difficult to have Kamandi dwell for any length of time on the totality of his predicament, as Dr. Brothers would put it. Since, I guess they mean Dr. Joyce Brothers?
Yep.
Since this is first and foremost an adventure mag, he did make his feelings apparent in number 8, as noted, which seemed to work out well. You were both correct in catching us on Kamandi's origin. Up to this point, Jack's concern has been to move the crazy blonde kid forward rather than hold up the parade to sort things out. Now that the mag's established, you can expect the unexpected. In other words, we're working on it.
Good.
There's another letter here from Keith Griffin from Mobile, Alabama, and I was like, oh wow, because you're always looking for future Marvel creators in these letters, right? And I thought, oh no, it's Keith Giffen, but spelled differently. And he says, "Dear Jack, watch out. The quality of Kamandi is slipping. The storylines seem very mundane, padded, and uneventful. The art is just enough to get by. The full-page splashes take up too much room, and the pictures in the letter call are a waste of space. Just a word of warning, shape up." Wow. So, they put some really critical...
But it's constructive. I can just say it's constructive. It's not just shit on you. Get a real fucking job, Jack. You know what I mean? Which is a lot of what the internet has in the way of trolling. But for
Right.
somebody to give that much damning critique, it's a godsend. You
Right.
know,
Yeah, I
because
mean,
once again, this is not Jack's holy grail of comics. It's his bread and butter and livelihood. That's all it is. And he's just got to keep this thing afloat so he can pay his mortgage and put his kids through school and
right.
keep gas in the car and bologna in the on the bread. You know.
Right.
So
These people are complaining, but it's not like they're not reading. They're not buying.
that's right. They want to find out. They want to see if their Jack will pull it through, and he does, and he will, or we suspect because I haven't read this story arc in years, so it's a major surprise
Yeah.
to hit one each and every of these issues. And this issue was up there, like I think it was issue 10 or 11, where he just really, I think, throttled it. You know, he just went right in and gave us more than the cover price. So I'm really excited to see what happens
And
next week.
so this letter column, this letters page also has some very interesting insights sometimes. Like, for example, they are acknowledging that Kamandi is established now. It's exactly what we were inferring after issue 8, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so Steve Sherman writes, as long as I have your attention, I'd like to address those of you who have this uncontrollable desire to send your money to us, asking
Oh,
for back issues of Demon and Mr. Miracle, as well as Kamandi. We do not have any, in bold capital letters. I repeat, we do not have any back issues for sale. I've been asked to get this point across because we've been deluged with mail requesting missed issues. This causes a big hassle since we have to return the money, which means hours of sorting coins and licking stamps for a certain Mrs. Kirby who just doesn't have the time. Honestly, we're grateful that you think enough of the books to want to collect the entire run, but there's no way for us to keep supply on hand. If you want to be certain of getting an issue every time, get a subscription. There's a coupon in this or any DC comic, or ask the clerk at the store to set copies aside for you. Yes, I know you're 36 and it's slightly embarrassing, but it's out of our hands. To those of you who are
damn.
reading this comic for the first time, don't worry, just stay with us and you'll catch on to what's been going on in no time at all. And then he just thanks the readers. So, this was really a homegrown effort. This time capsule goes to P.O. Box 336, Newbury Park, California. So, the Jack has to handle all of this on his own. It's not like, he has editorial staff, doing this, at the offices of DC. And so he gets, this Steve Sherman guy to respond, and print these letters. He's got his wife answering the mail, and he's trying to, put out like, three different titles at the same time. So, Jack's always been a busy boy.
Mm-hmm.
It even says, we're in a situation that only allows us enough time to keep the magazines coming out on schedule and maybe lunch. In fact, Jack still has letters from 1968 which he's been meaning to answer, and I think one of them's from me. So, they were really crunched for time. They were really crunched for time. They say it all the time. Stan Lee said it, in letters and responses, to people, and Jack Kirby is saying it, and everybody around them, is that they were on this production schedule, and it was, unforgiving. If you have a flat tire, that's hours that you could have been doing your work, and the deadline doesn't change. So,
Yeah.
plus Jack Kirby, bit off a lot more than most people can chew. But I think he's Kamandi. I think at this point is coming out monthly, right?
Yeah.
Some of these others, he's doing Mr. Miracle and Demon. Those are I don't know if they're bi-monthly or monthly at that point, but Demon is just a beautiful comic. We got to maybe do some Demon too. Some of those original first run Kirby Demons were great. But yeah, this is the world of Kirby. This is, this is all about Jack and all about, getting it done and what it takes. You have to do
Fantastic stuff.
every single page, and sometimes, what we're learning about is how to do stuff quicker here. These are valuable lessons for everybody, so that you can choose to do things quick or not to, depending on, on the potential that you're leaving on the table. But here Jack is doing it, and he had to do what he had to do.
All right, till next week then.
Till next
That's
week.
what I got.
Yep.
All right.
We're on a cliffhanger, so make sure you guys tune in for the next one.
All right, Jake. I'll see you next week.
All right, Kurt. Bye.